Hey guys, Michael Foley here with Foley Auto Consulting. I wanted to do a video today on arguably one of the most refined and well-tuned vehicles on the road today, which is the Porsche 911. So the Porsche 911 has probably more variations than any other car on the road. And so when you say you drive a Porsche 911, it can mean a wide variety of different things. And so I wanted to walk people through, understanding what are all those variations, what do all those words mean, Carrera, Targa, S, GTS, what do all those mean? So I want to kind of break it down and make it simple. So it's not a very simple system that they use. So the Porsche 911 is the shell that they use. So it's a very iconic shape to the car. And there's different variations of it. So at the top level we have the Carrera, we have the Targa, and we have the Turbo. So those are three different variations of that. So now when you break up, so starting with the Carrera, there is a variation that is either you can get the coupe or the cabriolet. So the coupe is a hard top, and so that means it's just a normal top, and the cabriolet is the convertible version. And so now of the and the Turbo has the same option. So the Turbo has the coupe or the cabriolet. The Targa in the middle, it actually is right in the middle between a cabriolet, which is the convertible, and the coupe, and it actually has just a split in the top here that opens up. So it's a little bit different. It's essentially a glorified bigger moonroof, if you will, on the Targa. They give it a fancy name. So with the Carrera and the Targa, there's even further trim levels in there. And so you can have the base Carrera or the base Targa. You can have the S, which so it just goes Carrera S, and with the S you get a little bit more power, a little bit more horsepower. And then you can go a level up to the GTS, which gets even more power, and it gets a additional appearance package to it. So it looks a little better, a little bit bigger wheels, a little black accents to it. So even more power than the S. And then from there, so you have the same variations in the Targa as well. So you have the Targa S, the Targa GTS. So on top of that, you can also throw in what they throw a 4 in there. So they have the Carrera 4, the Carrera 4S, the Carrera 4 GTS, or the Targa 4, the Targa 4S, the Targa 4 GTS, and the 4 stands for all-wheel drive, and so that means that the car, all wheels are generating power, and so as opposed to all the other ones just being rear-wheel drive. So the Turbo is the exclusion on the exception to that rule, because all the Turbos have all-wheel drive. And so on the Turbos with the all-wheel drive system, they only have a S variation, and so they have the Turbo and the Turbo S, and so the Turbo S is the top of the line for the 911s. So outside of the 911, Carrera, Targa, and Turbo, and all those sub variations of it, they have their GT cars, and so they have what's called the GT3 and the GT2, and then and so those two cars, these are track cars. So these are cars that are really highly fine-tuned for the track, and so when they also, these ones even have a further designation. They have the GT3 RS, which is an even more modded out, has a big wing on the back, really only meant for the track. They obviously are still street legal, but they're really just meant for just ripping around the track. And so they have the GT3 RS is another variation of the GT3, and then they have the GT2, which is the highest of the high for the 911 spectrum, and they have the GT2 and the GT2 RS. So hope that wasn't too confusing for you. It's quite a complex system that they have, but once you understand the premise of how it works and what all the designations mean, it's pretty simple to figure out what the actual car is that you're looking at. So if you're driving around and you see the car name on the back, you can know exactly what it is. So hope that's helpful. And if you want some help figuring out, what's going to be a good fit for you, what's going to be that best car for you to buy next, feel free to reach out to us at FoleyAutoConsulting.com and leave a comment. Hope to hear from you. Thanks.